Race fans, the Federated Auto Parts Dirt Car Nationals is bigger than ever. From January 29th through February 14th at Volusia Speedway Park. See the world of outlaws, sprint cars, and late models. Plus, American Sprint Car Series, USAC National Sprint Cars, the Super Dirt Car Series, and the Dirt Car UMP Modifieds. Ticket packages, camping, and more at DirtCarNationals.com. Next winter, head south.
Every lap, every race, every bit of paint traded for every hard-fought place. Every checkered flag and trophy raised. Every ounce of dirt, sweat, and gears. They're all jammed inside every can of NOS Energy. Go ahead, open up a can.
If your answer to the summer heat is let it rain, we're looking for you. Join us at Toyota Racing.
I chose the Chasm system. A lot of the top drivers in the sport were using it, and being a father and all the back injuries happening, I felt like it's just extra insurance on keeping your back healthy and safe. Years ago, I broke and fractured my T5 vertebrae. Since then, I've always been on top of my safety stuff, but I think the Chasm is just the next layer of being on top of the safety.
It's ARP fasteners for whatever you race. From 2 wheels to 4. Off-road, on-road, even water. From the flat track to the salt flats. Grassroots racers, weekend warriors, and pros alike trust ARP. Made in America quality, family-owned and operated. When failure is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com. No matter what you race.
Looking for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
At Pit Boss Jack's, we put in the work in the shop so you can put in your work at the track. Engineering, speed, durability. Pit Boss Jack's, like a boss.
This is a Dirt Vision special presentation. The best drivers, the best coverage. It's time to watch the greatest shows on dirt on Dirt Vision.
When the checkered flag flew last night, the bell tolled for a now 9-time Chili Bowl prelim winner. Christopher Bell is also now 2 for 2 on the week at the Chili Bowl and might be on his way to another prestigious Golden Driller. The fight for 4 is on, and the dirt world could be in for another Larson Bell Classic. Who will be the first to get 4 from a generational rivalry? Don't forget about Axum and Persley, who are hungrier than ever. And by the way, Logan Seavey hasn't even qualified yet. One prelim night remains in the 40th Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS. The excitement is ramping up for Saturday night. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Dirt Vision's final show of the week, a preview of Quick Trip prelim night number 5 of this year's Chili Bowl. One last look at all the stars that will be vying for 2 lock-in spots tonight. Our coverage is live on Dirt Vision and its social platforms until 30 minutes prior to Hot Laps. After that, we encourage you to turn on Flow Racing for all the live coverage both tonight and all day tomorrow. Thursday night was generally considered to be the toughest prelim night of the week, and it lived up to that title. While many expected it to be the Bell Thorson show all night long, the spotlight early on seemed to be on C.J. Leary, Ashton Torgerson, and Spencer Baston, who all had great runs in heat races and qualifiers. Matt Sherrill was entertaining to watch in the night's alphabet soup as he won the first C main and then had a stellar run all the way from 13th to win B main number 1 and put it in the show. Let's look at the feature where the 3 I mentioned earlier, Leary, Torgerson, and Baston, led the field in that order to green. C.J. Leary, desperate to get Alex Bowman a Chili Bowl prelim win, got out to a big lead early while the field duked it out behind him. A cool moment for NOS Energy Drink was when Baston, along with Ryan Bernal and Chris Windham, were engaged in a 3 NOS car battle for the second spot in the first couple of laps. Ryan Bernal got the best of that battle. 3 laps in, you're going to see Christopher Bell for the first time. And a scary moment, however, as he bicycles off the cushion and almost loses it, but makes a nice save. While the leaders were entering above the cushion, Bell actually found grip on the bottom and started methodically picking them off 1 car at a time. Up front, though, when C.J. Leary started getting into traffic, Ryan Bernal tracked him down, driving a line above the cushion like only a California kid does. But when Leary stumbled off of turn 4, Bernal saw a lane below the 55 and took it, stealing the lead. Leary slid him back into turn 1, but Bernal had the crossover ready just before a caution came out. The restart allowed Christopher Bell to enter the conversation, getting third just before another caution. He slid Leary for second on that restart, and by virtue of being able to run both lines, tracked down Bernal and slid him perfectly for the top spot, coming to 2 to go. Bell wins, and C.J. Leary sneaks back by Bernal for the lock-in spot in arguably the best race of the week so far.
Yeah, the pill draw was rough, man. The pill draw was rough. I knew that, well, I shouldn't say that. There were a couple guys like Larson didn't get a bunch of points, and he still started, top 4. My other car didn't get a ton of points. He still started top 4. So I was hopeful that I might be able to get a good starting spot out of it. But, yeah, the way it worked out, a lot of guys scored a lot of points, and I started 8th. So it was tough. I just really got in a slider battle with Carter Sarf, lost a lot of time on the competitors in front of me, wasn't able to make consistent laps on the top, and then, yeah, the yellow flag came out, and I just kind of committed to doing opposite of what everybody else was doing. It was just the track conditions, the way that it played out. Like the front stretch got super slick on the top and had a lot of grip on the bottom. So, I could be 2 or 3 car lengths back and then just get a massive run down the front straightaway because there was so much grip down there. So I thought the track was amazing. Gave a lot of options. I hope it was a great race. It sure seemed like it from my seat.
Yeah, honestly, I was frustrated with the yellow, and the timing of the yellow just was poor timing for us. I wasn't quite for sure what I was going to do on the start of the race. I didn't know if I was going to roll the bottom for a couple laps or go straight to the top. I watched the other prelim nights, and it seemed like some guys got complacent running the bottom, and I just decided to go straight to the top. I feel like that was going to be our best shot to win. Honestly, I wasn't happy with our car at all after the qualifier, and I didn't think we could win after the qualifier. And our car was good enough, and we went to work, made some changes, and just got ripping there in the A, making good lap speed, making good laps. I didn't know how good we were until about lap 15. I hadn't been pressured, hadn't seen anybody, hadn't hurt anybody, so I was just up there probably a little complacent, just trying not to make any mistakes. And I got in lap traffic, and I was really struggling getting off of turn 4. The cushion was built up so big, the racetrack was so treacherous, and running 4 in the fluff. I've never done that in a midget. That's some sprint car stuff that we've do in the past. These cars aren't really built for that. Never seen the Chili Bowl racetrack kind of shape up like it did tonight. So, I don't like a tight race car, and tonight we've been tight a lot tonight, and I didn't make any shock adjustments. I just drove it. I had my elbows up, and that was an intense 30 laps. Just wish could have been one spot better, but we got 2 cars locked in the A main. We get to focus on the pole shuffle and go for our driller.
The final prelim night of the week is upon us, a night that does feel a little bit more open than some of the other nights this week. The roster: Andrew Felker, a potential dark horse that's been racing midgets a long time, Indy 500 veteran Santino Ferrucci, Hayden Reinbold, who's significantly improved in midgets the last few years, 2013 World of Outlaws champion and 2017 Chili Bowl runner-up Darren Pittman. Ace McCarthy makes his one race every year, the Chili Bowl. Is always fun to watch. The obvious favorite for tonight is Logan Seavey. We'll talk to him soon. Steven Snyder Jr., the Maryland talent, driving for Chase McDermott. Gio Scelzi is back at the Chili Bowl for the first time in 5 years. Justin Grant used to own Friday night. He wants to get back to form. And Gavin Miller trying to get, if you can believe this, Keith Kunz Motorsports' first lock-in of the week. Their best finish to this point is 3rd. It's been a tough win for the multi-time driller-winning super team this year. I mentioned Logan Seavey being the obvious choice to win tonight. It's hard to argue with either he or Kevin Swindell's resumes. While they were unable to make it a three-peat on Saturday last season, they do carry in a streak of 3 consecutive Friday night wins, a perfect winning percentage since Kevin started his own separate team. Logan's drillers in 23 and 24 told us that we were going to be talking about Logan Seavey at the Chili Bowl for a long time to come. Seavey is arguably the best full-time non-wing driver in the country right now. He spends his summers racking up wins across all 3 of USAC's national divisions and is on an elite list of Triple Crown champions. Seavey was on track Monday for the Race of Champions, but in the days since has been a teammate. Though Jet Barnes and Emerson Atson have had their moments of fame this week, Seavey is the flagship name for Kevin Swindell's Chili Bowl dynasty. What does Logan think about what he's seen out of his teammates this week and his chances tonight? Let's find out as we bring Dave Rieff into our Friday night coverage.
Well, you know what, Connor? If Logan Seavey thought there was a facade behind his 2 previous Chili Bowl championships, well, the curtain has absolutely been pulled back this weekend because his car owner really is the Tulsa King, as he's now added 3 extra cars to the mix. For a while there, you had to be wondering what's going on. Am I getting kind of shoved to the corner here?
No. I've actually been really excited about all this happening. You know, we obviously came out those first few years and we were really good. And last year we just couldn't quite get that real, that little final tuning you need to have a car capable of winning Saturday. And yeah, I mean, like I said, we were obviously still really, really fast. It was just little quirks in this building that sometimes change, as the years go on. And getting a few more races on early in the week, kind of keeping our cars on track and making sure we're keeping up with everything is great for me. And yeah, just being able to watch and kind of, help Jet. And, I don't really, Emerson and Kyle don't really need my help, but, if I could somehow help them anyway, I try to. And yeah, we're all just here trying to make these cars go as fast as we can and at some point give us all hopefully a chance on Saturday too.
Does it add pressure though, because you've seen how good these cars can run? It's now your qualifying night. The moment of truth is here. The butterflies a little bit, maybe fluttering around a little bit more than usual?
Yeah, I mean, I think if they're not, you probably don't care enough. So yeah, I mean, I think that's just natural for a race like this. This is our biggest race, and yeah, like I said, if your nerves aren't climbing a little bit as the day goes on, you probably don't care enough about this race. So yeah, I mean, they always do here. I feel like they've calmed down, tenfold since before I won. So now after I've won the race, I feel like I'm way more calm. But yeah, like I said, the nerves are always going to set in. I think they're the biggest thing is yeah, obviously we have had a lot of speed, but I've been trash talking Jet a bunch all week, just messing with him. Obviously I was super proud of what he did on Monday or on Tuesday. But yeah, we just kind of banter back and forth, kind of like like brothers would almost, and I just keep kicking him down every time he gets his head a little bit too big. So hopefully I at least run better than 3rd tonight.
What's the one thing you have to do different than last year to get you back to victory lane this year? I'm talking Saturday now.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, step one is you got to win tonight, right? You can't not win tonight. But man, I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of what we saw last night. I think that's right where we struggled a little bit last year, was getting up above the cushion and be able to carry speed up there like we had to on Saturday. But Kyle's car did it well. His engine wasn't running the best all day, so that really made it hard for him, which, like I said earlier, I think Emerson was the one that gave me the most information because Kyle's car wasn't reacting how it should because his engine wasn't running. So that was super, a bummer to see because we want to see that car go fast. And it was pretty good for the conditions he was running with. So it's kind of unfortunate for him and our whole team, but he still carried that thing to a fifth. You know, he was hustling hard because he was down a lot of power. But yeah, I think running above the cushions where, if that's what they're going to give us on Saturday again, I think that's where we have to improve. We're really, really good against the cushion. Kyle looked great above it, but we're got to see if me and my car can do the same. So that's kind of what we're looking forward to.
You know what? It probably comes as a shock, Connor, but you ask anybody in the SageNet Center who their prohibitive favorite is tonight. I have yet to find somebody who hasn't said Logan Seavey. Shocker, I know.
Thanks, Dave. We'll see if CV can make it 4 Friday nights in a row in that 39 car. We'll hear from Dave here again in a little bit, but first, we're going to take a quick commercial break to give you a chance to get your hot sauce ready for our next segment.
Ready to rise? To the challenge? Above obstacles. Yes! Above perceptions.
Running her, implement the pass on the top lane.
Above it all.
Let's go!
If so, we're looking for you. Join us at Toyota Racing.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
I'm faster than you. Yeah, well, I'm gnarlier than you. I get more sideways. I'm louder. Much louder. I get wilder than you. You sure about that, bro?
Harder.
Slicker.
Cooler. Tougher. Let's go.
So what you got?
Some races you watch. Some races you experience. June 17th through the 20th, the Huset's High Bank Nationals raises the stakes with $300,000 on the line, making it the highest-paying sprint car race in the country. The Huset's High Bank Nationals. Where will you be when history is made?
It's a moment of transformation when humans become heroes and training gives way to instinct. In that moment, senses are heightened to new levels. Every sound, every breath, every second that can mean the difference between life and death. Determination is matched only by empathy for those who need you most. In that moment, you need a tool that rises to the challenge. Simple, rugged, reliable. Amcus Rescue Systems, built for the moment.
Race fans, the Federated Auto Parts Dirt Car Nationals is bigger than ever. From January 29th through February 14th at Volusia Speedway Park. See the world of outlaws, sprint cars, and late models. Plus, American Sprint Car Series, USAC National Sprint Cars, the Super Dirt Car Series, and the Dirt Car UMP Modifieds. Ticket packages, camping, and more at DirtCarNationals.com. Next winter, head south.
Well, we told you to get your hot sauce ready for this next segment as we continue our Dirt Vision pre-race coverage for Friday night of the Chili Bowl. We are going to the SageNet Center where Dave Rieff, our field reporter, is standing by with, what's this kid's name? Gio Scelzi. I've never heard of him, but apparently he's a pretty good personality and has a pretty good family racing history as well. Gio Scelzi back at the Chili Bowl for the first time in 5 years. Dave, how's hot sauce feeling?
Hot Sauce is feeling good, but Hot Sauce's mom would want me to remind you that his name is Giovanni. Given name Giovanni Scelzi, but he's not only here with chilies on the side of his car. That means you're riding the what? Ride the Dente? Is that the rally cry?
Absolutely, ride the Dente 100%.
So what does that exactly mean?
Well, the Presidente Margarita at Chili's is the winner.
Got me hooked already?
Yeah, I can assure you of that.
All right, so it's been a little while since we've been here at the Chili Bowl. There's no doubt that when the opportunity arose, there was no questions as to you were going to do it or not. So tell me how it all came together this year.
Yeah, definitely. Tim Clausen called me September of this year and said, do you have any interest in doing Chili Bowl again? And not planning on going to Australia. I said, yep, absolutely, why not? So initially it was going to be with Chad Boat, and then decided to go with Keith Hughes Motorsports, which they're both two of the top cars in the building, I feel like. So my first time here was for Clausen Marshall, which was obviously really good cars, then for Boat, now for Keith. So had a pretty solid lineup of cars I've driven here.
So people want to know, can you do it? Well, that's kind of where you started, maybe a smaller version.
Yeah, grew up racing micro sprints. So this race, the shootout was always a pinnacle, and so was the Chili Bowl for me. And moving into sprint cars, obviously this is still a huge event. So drew a 6 tonight, which means you're starting up front in a heat race. So need to win the heat race and get yourself in a qualifier and give yourself a shot. So you can make this show from all over. I felt like guys have started 9th in heat races and gotten points that way. And Bell, the night he won, started in the pole of his heat race. So you got to keep yourself in it. Crashing is obviously not the way to go early in the night. Makes it way, way harder. So just get through the heat, get through the qualifier, and kind of see where we line up in the future.
KKM Motorsports, you're 24. You are the veteran, pretty much, of this group. You look around, you didn't even know some of these guys.
No, it does seem that way. It feels weird. I can't believe I'm already 24 years old, but no, it's cool. This has been, to me, the best team in this building for a long, long time. They always park in the same spot, and they bring great equipment here, so excited to get going.
Still perplexed that it was 16 cars a year ago, down to 10 this year. I'm glad you got a home here. The stunner, though, as Connor said at the top of the show, and we've been so wrapped up in everything that's been going on here this weekend, I didn't even realize it. Keith doesn't have a car locked in yet, and it's Friday.
I know, not yet. Yeah, they have a good lineup. When I asked the crew chief here, I'm like, how many cars you got this week? And he said 10, and he said 10's a slow week for them. And I was like, because they've had 16, 17 cars. So saying you have 10 race cars running in a race and that's a slow week is kind of a weird thing to talk about, that's for sure.
Take me back to Sunday then. Obviously for you, it's all about getting practice time out there. Limited laps, early, late. Juice racetrack, a little slicker later. How'd it feel?
Yeah, so we were actually in the end of the group, so the track was as dry as it was going to be, and then we're the first group in the next set. So got a good racetrack, both sessions. I felt like it. It's all about getting comfortable, right? Like, everything's a bit different in these cars. The way you sit, the steering, obviously being non-wing compared to wing, what I'm used to. So laps are crucial. Get 2 or 3 laps of hot laps through, then right into a heat race.
What's the conversations like? Do you have a chance to sit with Keith? Keith kind of tell you what to expect, and as you get back into one of these things for the first time in 5 years?
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because they want to ask me what I'm feeling, and at the same time, I'm probably going to tell them in the wrong direction of where to move, what I want the car to feel like. So it's kind of like, hey, whatever you guys normally do, start with that, and then I'll try to point you in a certain direction of kind of what I need to feel throughout the night.
Let's wrap up the Chili Bowl. Expectations. What would make Giovanni Scelzi walk out of here and feel like a happy guy?
I mean, there's 400 cars in this building and 24 make the show. So putting it in the show and like I said, just giving yourself a shot. It's so easy to get caught up in something in a heat race or a qualifier and put you in a O or a Q or a G main or whatever on Saturday. So giving yourself a shot to put yourself in the show Saturday is the goal.
I hate dating myself, but of course I was with your father when your brother was born. We were at the Texas Motorplex, NHRA drag racing. Always fun to see how the family's doing. Dom, Mom, Dad, how's everybody?
Really good, yeah. Dom was going to come out, but he thinks he's too busy having a real job, which I guarantee you he's not, but I know he'll be watching.
He probably wanted to probably stay home and stay at the buffet, right? We ought to pick on him some.
You notice they only put Selzy on the cars I drive. In case I don't do well, they can always put Dominic in it.
What's Dad up to these days? Business doing good?
Yeah, staying busy. So his new toy is a Corvette now. So he drives home, wipes it off, drives to the shop, wipes it off. So it's spotless.
A secure legacy for that man for sure, with the 4 Nitro Championships, 3 in Top Fuel, 1 in Funny Car, and of course the winner in the NHRA in every supercharged category. How come you didn't end up going drag racing?
Man, I love drag racing. It's a close second to me for dirt racing, but I just had no interest in driving. I mean, they're cool to go watch, and Austin Prock's a good buddy of mine, and watching him race makes me more nervous than when I race. They're just, they're very, very cool, but a little bit too dangerous for me.
Growing up at the drag strip, though, what are some of your great memories of Dad?
Man, I was 7 years old when he retired, so I vaguely remember going to the racetrack and stuff, but going back now and seeing Mike Neff and Aaron Brooks and the guys that worked on my dad's cars and having them remember me is weird in a way, but seeing those guys still in the sport and still having a passion for it's really cool.
A trip out to California for Jackson Steele, the man behind the camera here's wedding. I was able to go by and stop by and see Alan Johnson too, so Alan, very instrumental in all of this, so it's great to hear that the family is doing well. Now, let's talk about, well, I don't know, is it a soap opera what it's been like here for you the last year with everything that's gone on?
Yeah, it really has, man. You go back middle of 2024, it's a completely different story from middle of 2025. So I'm glad I found a home with Spire. Very, very excited to work with Eric Prutzman and the whole new team. So typically when you're changing teams, you're already going to an established team, and now we're going to a completely new team. So, I know Eric's been busy on the computer ordering everything and getting everything we need, so I'm very excited for it.
How much time have you been able to spend with that group yet?
Yeah, so I've known Eric for a long time, but I spent the week after Chili Bowl down in Charlotte just going through cars and talking about what we need and what we're going to get, and now we have motors that have showed up, so I'll probably fly down next week or the week after, get my seats mounted, and it all kind of starts to become real then.
When does the season officially begin? Will we be part of Dirt Car Nationals?
Yep, Volusia's the first race for us.
And then after that, we're going to be chasing the high limit deal this year.
Yeah, so Volusia straight to Vegas, Arizona, Vado, so it's a busy year for sure.
Probably be in Knoxville in there as well.
Oh yeah, we'll be there, yep.
So at 24, you say, yeah, you feel like you're old, but your unbelievable career. World of Outlaws youngest winner at 16, Knoxville at 17. There's a shootout, something or another in there. Are you ready to become the old guy, though?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I feel that way already, but I can't believe I haven't raced in Outlaws or an Outlaw race for 8 years, I guess, now. So it feels like just yesterday I was at Williams Grove racing and with Bernie and trying to get my feet wet and get comfortable, but I feel like I've been doing it for a long time, which 8 years, I guess, is a long time in a way, but there's guys like Donnie and Brad that have been doing it for 15, 20 years. So I think I have a long career ahead of me still.
As a lifelong Midwestern guy, I certainly understand what it means to live in Iowa and Nebraska. I have never understood how easily you adapted to it.
I love it. Honestly, I do. Coming from California with traffic and people, and I've lived in Des Moines for 3 years now, and have no interest in living anywhere else. The team's obviously in Charlotte, which I want to be close to where the race team is, but I enjoy being an hour from Knoxville. During Nationals, I haven't been able to go home and keep me away from Dingus and go sleep in my own bed, but I love Iowa. I have friends there now and own a house, and it's a good time for sure.
But now you're in Tulsa, been here since Sunday. You're not racing till Friday. You did take it easy on the notoriously nasty night of the Chili Bowl, but I guarantee you found your way to a gambling establishment or two. Inquiring minds want to know, how are things going?
Man, with Osage, Hard Rock, and River Spirit being all within 10-15 minutes is not good on the old bank account, so I'm going to need an advance on my first Volusia paycheck, that's for sure.
I heard Maddie Forberg's doing pretty good, though.
She's doing great. She's carrying the gambling team right now. There's no question about that.
So if Guy were to be on the other end of my phone, which I should have called him, shame on me.
Please not listening.
What would he be telling you right now?
He would say stop. If you're winning, don't gamble anymore. You're an idiot for gambling.
I'll tell you what, this is a guy that it is absolutely fun to hang out with. His brother's fun to hang out with. They're fun to follow on social media. And if you ever get a chance to go see the Wild Thing, crack a beer with him. The NHRA champion has a secure family here that's continuing down the motorsports path. Connor, we'll send it back to you.
Great interview, Dave. Yeah, great interview, Dave. Thank you very much. Always great to see Gio at the racetrack. Glad he's back at the Chili Bowl, and of course the Selzies are just incredible for dirt racing. Great to see Gio. Good luck this evening. Stick around after this commercial break. We're going to give you a look at some other names you could see in the mix tonight.
Looking for a refreshing change? Say goodbye to sluggish performance and reach for the one that won't slow you down.
That's crisp.
Experience the force of clean, pure oil coursing through your engine. No matter what you drive, Wix Filters is the clear choice. Here's to filtration that works as hard as you do. Wix Premium Filters. Performance starts here.
There's a moment behind the wheel of what I've built, where power overrides gravity, and I hit that zero moment. Zero doubts, zero fear, zero competition. No rule or mold I can't break. And limits, absolutely zero. And there's enough zero sugar to get me there.
I think it's a very big deal that we have Amcus, providing us with the Amcus cutting tools throughout our series and World Racing Group. It's good that we're able to get a product in that's reliable and it does the job. If for some reason we had to cut a car apart or get access to a driver or a patient, we know that this tool here is definitely the one that we're going to work the best, get us in there quickly.
Race fans, the Federated Auto Parts Dirt Car Nationals is bigger than ever. From January 29th through February 14th at Volusia Speedway Park. See the world of outlaws, sprint cars, and late models. Plus, American Sprint Car Series, USAC National Sprint Cars, the Super Dirt Car Series, and the Dirt Car UMP Modifieds. Ticket packages, camping, and more at DirtCarNationals.com. Next winter, head south.
DMI Racing components and Bulldog quick change rears are developed, engineered, and manufactured to take you to victory lane. Whether you are a touring professional or a weekend warrior, the products offering you the best value, reliability, and performance come to DMI and Bulldog. Innovation Racing components proudly made in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, USA. Visit diversifiedracing.com to learn more about the complete line of DMI Racing components and the Bulldog quick change rears.
If this is your idea of ladylike, you're gonna fit right in. Join us at Toyota Racing.
At Pit Boss Jack's, we put in the work in the shop so you can put in your work at the track. Engineering, speed, durability. Pit Boss Jack's, like a boss.
This copyrighted Dirt Vision broadcast may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or distributed in any form without World Racing Group's written consent. Copyright infringement is a federal crime.
Welcome back. The final prelim night of this year's Chili Bowl is approaching closer and closer. 2025 was probably one of the most interesting seasons of Justin Grant's career. For starters, he transitioned to a new midget team by joining CB Industries. He and Chad Boat won 2 USAC midget races early in the season, and in total, Grant brought home 16 wins on the year, 11 of them in USAC non-wing sprint car competition, and also recorded a Silver Crown championship. The tricky part was when Justin was injured in a crash during Indiana Sprint Week at Lawrenceburg in July, breaking his foot. But when you race for a living and are a true badass like Justin Grant, a broken foot doesn't always mean a step back. Just weeks after the injury, JG was winning races and literally standing in victory lane on crutches, showing off his grip. Grant has had some time since the USAC season ended to rest his foot and comes into this Chili Bowl eager to get back into the conversation inside the Expo. Grant owns 5 career Chili Bowl prelim wins and 6 career total lock-ins. His Chili Bowl success has come with multiple different teams over the years, from Clausen Marshall Racing to Rams to RMS. He's now trying to visit victory lane with Chad Boat and CB Industries.
Yeah, excited to go tonight, and got kind of a year together under our belts and working together, and had a pretty successful outdoor season. Not completely what we were setting out to do, but we came close and built on this year. Once we got me in the car and got me comfortable, I felt pretty good in the race car. Outside the race car was tough, just trying to do, normally I'm pretty hands-on, and it was tough for me to do much of anything, on crutches, and really, kind of wiped out energy-wise was a big thing too. Like I'd go race and come home and get a bag of fluids and lay around for a few days, and then I'd get cranked back up to go again for the weekend, and so a little shift. It was probably good for me, get my hands off a little bit and relax, and learn to kind of let my guys take care of things, and had to. So I felt like that was a good thing, and it was challenges to overcome, but a little bit of fun in the meantime. Hung around more in the pits this year than I have in a lot of years past. I like the CBI guys are a lot of fun, and kind of hang around and spend some time with them, and spend some time in Tulsa, and been down here, just my dad and I down here, so that's been fun. Been hanging out with him, and it's been a good week.
It's been a long time since practice. Have you been thinking about your practice car versus tonight? What you gotta do? Some
of the things we learned on practice and Race of Champions night. Then Chad's learned on the other cars throughout the week, and try and bundle it all together and put it on the 87 here and see if we can't go win something.
Good stuff from JG. When you think of midget racers, you probably don't think of Darren Pittman a whole lot. Pitto is more associated with his 2013 World of Outlaws Championship, a King's Royal win, and many years on the Outlaw Tour, but Pittman is accomplished in his Chili Bowl resume. A runner-up finish to his good friend Christopher Bell in 2017 highlights that. His prelim numbers are also consistent with 14 top 10s and 19 starts, 8 top 5s, and 2 runner-ups. He hasn't made the Saturday finale since 2021, the year he drove from 20th to 5th, but he should not be counted out. The semi-retired driver has a moderately busy coast-to-coast slate of races, with Don Kreitz Jr. scheduled for the upcoming season in a sprint car, and will use the Chili Bowl to get warmed up for the big year ahead. Another big reason for Pittman's Chili Bowl appearance is business-related, as he sells seat systems to a ton of drivers all over the country. Here's a word with Pittman ahead of his run tonight.
Well, Darren Pittman may not be a full-time racer, but of course, if you have a car that needs a full-time seat put in it, he's your guy. Ultra Shield, he's obviously going to be at the Chili Bowl, but guess what? He is racing this weekend, as well as returning back to his roots, so I can't imagine there's a busier guy in these pits, Darren, than you.
This is my favorite week of the year. It's weird just coming from a sprint car guy, but I choose Chili Bowl over any race.
I say the same thing.
Yeah, it's just a blast to be in this building, honestly. I enjoy watching, I enjoy competing. Growing up here as a kid, just being able to come to all these in the early days and watching, and honestly, still to this day, I swear that the race Andy Hillenberg and the year that he won is like the greatest race I've ever seen in my life. And I think this building has, an impact on anybody in the sport that, comes and sees it. And most people, when they come, they continue to come back. So just always blessed to be able to feel like I can get to come back, compete. And then obviously it's a great place for us to display our products.
How do you like your chances tonight?
Good. If I can run anywhere close to as good as my teammates, obviously, we should be in the hunt. I think all 4 of our cars that they've ran so far have, kind of been in contention to win or at least get locked in. Unfortunately, they've kind of all come up just a little bit short, but they're all in great spots in the B main. So Matt Wood brings great equipment. It's got a great lineup of drivers, and we're kind of all wing sprint car guys, so we kind of know midget people to bounce anything off of. Not that I think that makes much of a difference, but it's fun to drive for them, and it's fun to see the speed that that they've had all week long. And Shane puts a lot of effort into it. So hoping to hold up my end of the bargain and go out and at least try to perform as good as the equipment's capable of doing.
The one that got away, Christopher Bell. You chased him across the line in an all Okie 1-2 a few years ago. You think about that one often?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
How can you not?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know that I really ever felt like I had a chance to beat him. I mean, obviously running second, you're close, but he was really good, and he was the better car. I still remember that's when I learned that drivers that are much better than me are capable of racing and watching a big screen all at the same time, because all he kept saying in post was, I just waited till I saw the 21 get to the top, and then I moved up, and I mean, it never even crossed my mind, and it still doesn't to watch the screen. So, yeah, I mean, just an exceptional talent. To be able to run second to Christopher Bell in anything is obviously an accomplishment. But, man, to get that close to winning a Chili Bowl, never won a prelim night, never won anything, as far as a main event goes in this building. And so it would go right up there. It was probably one of the biggest wins of my career, even if it was a prelim night. So super blessed to be able to just keep getting opportunities to drive for really good car owners, work with really good crew chiefs, really good teams, and friendships that honestly last a lifetime.
Quickly, just want to find out what's going on in 2026. How often can fans see you?
Probably similar to the last few years. I mean, that like 10 to 15 races is kind of my threshold on what I have time for. Definitely probably just going to focus solely on the 69K this year. They're wanting to kind of expand their schedule a little bit. They're wanting to come back to Knoxville, took a year off last year. And so, I drove a couple different cars last year. A great friend of mine, Dave Lundstrup, put me in his car for Knoxville and had a great time doing that. But filled in for Jason Myers a couple times. I think I'm, pretty solely just going to be in the 69K from here on out, and that's kind of my plan until they decide to do something different. So I'd say, some of the bigger events, and anywhere from a dozen to maybe 15 races at most.
Is there anybody better than this guy? I love spending time with Darren Pittman.
In terms of tonight's field being so wide open, like I mentioned earlier, a name you could see fly under the radar into contention is Ace McCarthy. If you followed midget racing around 2019 or 2020, you definitely remember Ace McCarthy's achievements on the POWRi Tour. He won 3 races with POWRi and once held the record for most consecutive feature starts with the series. McCarthy was always a solid shoe, but stepped away from racing before he likely even entered his prime to focus on his drilling company, 28 Drilling. McCarthy gets back in the saddle one time a year these days at the Chili Bowl, where he runs as a teammate to his good friend Tanner Thorson. Considering this is the Tahlequah, Oklahoma native's only appearance in a race car every year, he is usually extremely impressive. Problems for McCarthy prevented him from making last year's prelim feature, but in the 2 years prior to that, he brought home respectable 6th and 8th place finishes. Later tonight, when McCarthy trades in his cowboy hat for a helmet, he'll look to set himself up for his first Chili Bowl finale start.
I think a lot of it has to do, it's a hometown race for me. I live in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, so it's just an hour drive. And when the races come this close, I start itching, and I want to get back in a car. And Tanner's a big part of that too. I told him this year actually that I wasn't going to race. I was like, hey, find someone else to put in the car. I want to see your car in the A feature. I'll just be there to help, and I'll be supporting you. And he's like, no, you're racing. That went on for like 2 months, and here I am. So he talked me into coming back and doing it again, and I'm glad he did. It's too cool of an experience. I mean, you hear it time after time. This is our Super Bowl. It's our Daytona 500. And for it to be in my backyard, I got to work all week. I worked today and still make it up here and get to race. It doesn't get much better than that. We miss the camaraderie, the family feel that the racing environment has. I mean, going up and down the road with the same people every weekend, it doesn't get much better than that. The people in this building, this is the best people in the country. You can't find better people than that are in this building right now. So that's what I miss most. Last year was probably my worst year, and I think this is my 8th year doing this. The years before that, I was the first car out. Year before that, I was the second car out. So maybe we can turn it around. It hadn't been the best week for us over here. So got a little bit of pressure because I want us to in the prelim nights on a strong note. So we need to get one locked in. So
Are you built up for this thing stamina-wise, you think?
We'll see. There's nothing like seat time, and that's what I'm locking the most of. But fitness-wise, other than that, I've been doing pretty good. But we'll see if I fall to that seat tonight or not.
Hot laps are less than an hour away on the final prelim night of the Chili Bowl. Stick around because after this, Dave and I will give our final thoughts of the week as we wrap up Dirt Vision's Chili Bowl coverage.
The Light Rescue Series from AMCUS is a game changer for rescue teams across the country. AMCUS engineers listened and made changes based on the feedback of those in the field. Gator grips allow for minimal slippage. The rotating handle and ergonomic design allow rescue teams to put this only 46-pound tool wherever it needs to go, saving lives faster in the moment.
The motor is a lot faster. It opens the blades a lot quicker than normally you would. And it's also made of carbon fiber and titanium parts, which makes it very rugged for us to use.
Simple, rugged, reliable. To learn more about the Light Rescue Series, visit amcus.com.
If your answer to the summer heat is let it rain, we're looking for you. Join us at Toyota Racing.
It was just a no-brainer for me. I felt like over the years there's been so many back injuries and so many people getting hurt. Scott Kaufman and everybody at Chasm Racing Products have come up with a system that basically supports your back. It gives you that little bit of cushion that you need when you get in those wrecks or that downforce collision, and I feel like next level cutting edge technology that just helps us as drivers just be that little bit more safe. I'm thankful for everything that Chasm Safety Products has done, and I think that they're going to continue to innovate, and it's only going to get better and better for the future to come.
Race fans, the Federated Auto Parts Dirt Car Nationals is bigger than ever. From January 29th through February 14th at Volusia Speedway Park. See the world of outlaws, sprint cars, and late models. Plus, American Sprint Car Series, USAC National Sprint Cars, the Super Dirt Car Series, and the Dirt Car UMP Modifieds. Ticket packages, camping, and more at DirtCarNationals.com. Next winter, head south.
Every lap, every race, every bit of paint traded for every hard-fought place. Every checkered flag and trophy raised. Every ounce of dirt, sweat, and gears. They're all jammed inside every can of NOS Energy. Go ahead, open up a can.
Some races you watch. Some races you experience. June 17th through the 20th, the Huset's High Bank Nationals raises the stakes with $300,000 on the line, making it the highest-paying sprint car race in the country. The Huset's High Bank Nationals. Where will you be when history is made?
At Pit Boss Jack's, we put in the work in the shop so you can put in your work at the track. Engineering, speed, durability. Pit Boss Jack's, like a boss.
Every lap, every race, every bit of paint traded for every hard-fought place. Every checkered flag and trophy raised. Every ounce of dirt, sweat, and gears. They're all jammed inside every can of NOS Energy. Go ahead, open up a can.
Ready to rise? To the challenge? Above obstacles. Yes! Above perceptions.
Rediger, implement the pass on the top lane.
Above it all.
Let's go!
If so, we're looking for you. Join us at Toyota Racing.
Race fans, the Federated Auto Parts Dirt Car Nationals is bigger than ever. From January 29th through February 14th at Volusia Speedway Park. See the world of outlaws, sprint cars, and late models. Plus, American Sprint Car Series, USAC National Sprint Cars, the Super Dirt Car Series, and the Dirt Car UMP Modifieds. Ticket packages, camping, and more at DirtCarNationals.com. Next winter, head south.
Breaking news, the Chili Bowl officially hits 400 entries for the first time in the 40-year history of the event. Going into the week, it was anticipated that we would get to the 400 number and even exceed it. And with tonight's car count of 83 for this final preliminary night of the week, Hard Rock Casino Friday night We're officially at 407, a huge car count for this year's Chili Bowl. A big shout out to all 407 drivers that signed in. Let's go to the SageNet Center for the final time this week as we wrap up our coverage. Dave Rieff, it has been a lot of fun. We've seen a lot of great racing. Another good one coming up tonight, but perhaps the best one we've seen so far this week, like I said at the top of the show, last night's featured event. Would you agree?
You have to say so, absolutely. And I like the twists and turns, the ebbs and flows that race certainly had. And of course, it was Ryan Bernal that certainly wore the worst end of that. But Christopher Bell did exactly what he needed to do and took advantage of everything. Did it stink for some of the other guys that those yellows fell when they did? Sure, it probably did, but Christopher did what he needed to do and brought this place down. So every night, though, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, been bangers. We expect the same thing tonight, obviously. The big question exists, though, within everybody here is they think that Logan Seavey is going to be a shoe-in. Does he win by a half a lap? How many seconds is it? But, crazy things happen, and that's why we go ahead and race these things. I can tell you this, though, that a bulk majority of the people that were here last night, a lot of them went to the normal hangout spots, but a lot of them did go to Hard Rock Casino. You ever wonder where the purse money comes from? Well, from a place like Hard Rock Casino, I saw a lot of losing going on over there tonight, so they're going to dole all that money back in to the pot tonight.
Not surprising. Real quick, I'm going to run through the lineups for the 9 heat races that we'll take to the track for tonight, the final prelim night of the week. Let's start with heat race number 1. Veteran Matt Westfall on the pole in the 54 car. The final row of this one is interesting. Clinton Boyles, the race car driver / TV commentator for Flow this week. Darren Pittman, who we talked to earlier in the show, rolling off dead last. Golden opportunity for him to make some passing points. How about heat 2 and the dice starting dead last in this one? Logan Seavey at 39. Man, I bet Logan is chomping at the bit. He's probably really happy with this draw. Could Seavey go 10-1? I don't think it's out of the question. Jason McDougall in the 4Ps had some good runs in Tulsa before. Santino Ferrucci, the IndyCar star, also in that heat race from the pole. Heat race number 3, it's Hayden Reinbold on the pole in the 19A. Reese Moran for Johnny Herrera, the youngster who we're going to see in the sprint car world a lot this year, rolls off 6th. Ace McCarthy, who we talked to, his one race a year. We also heard from Justin Grant. JG is going to roll off 9th. So a lot of the heavy hitters, at least in these first 3 heat races, starting very deep in these heat races. Heat race number 4, Andrew Felker outside of the second row. Good opportunity for him to go forward. Heat race number 5, young Brady Baker on the pole. That with Chris Roseland to the outside. Heat race number 6, we talked to Gio Scelzi, who knew he was going to be starting up near the front of a heat race. Well, he's on the pole, can't afford to go backwards, especially with Chili Bowl veteran Michael Facento to his outside. Ronnie Gardner is a midget racing veteran. He starts 4th in that one. And Jesse Love, originally supposed to race Wednesday night, he will race tonight in his return to the Chili Bowl. Heat race number 7, you remember the name Randy Hannigan, the Hurricane. I know Dave Rieff does. His son Mason comes to the Chili Bowl for the second time on the pole of heat 7. Another youngster to his outside in the form of Austin Wood. Tyler Edwards starts 5th in that one, feature starter on Saturday night 1 year ago. Heat race number 8, Gavin Miller has won a lot of extreme races the last couple years, outside front row of that one. Cale Coons for Joe Dooling, who's won the Chili Bowl as an owner with Brian Clausen before, and keep an eye on Steven Snyder Jr. He'll be hungry to move forward from the 9th starting spot. Heat race number 9, opportunities for some guys that might fly under the radar to go forward in this one. Keep an eye on Jet Nutley, going to start 5th for Factory 14. Dave, some interesting heat races. I think the big names are kind of stacked into the front 3 heat races, and a lot of them starting deep, so we know they're trying to go forward. Obviously, everybody thinks that Seavey's the favorite tonight. Let's say something happens, and typically nothing ever happens to Logan Seavey, or typically nothing ever happens to a Swindell car, but if something happens where, maybe Logan has problems at any point in the night, who's the next man up? Who's in the catbird seat to maybe capitalize?
That could be the best question of the weekend because, again, the way these fields stack up, it is difficult to say, but I want to see how Santino Ferrucci is going to do on the front row. Yeah, he's not going to get a lot of passing points, certainly not if Logan Seavey catches and passes him, but wouldn't it be cool to see the Indy 500 racer do very, very well? Andrew Felker is one of those guys that just flies under the radar, but yet seems to be there all the time, and based on where he starts outside of row number 2 in heat race number 4, it'd be interesting to keep an eye on him because I think he's done very, very well the last couple of years. Other than that, it's a pick 'em because I thought it was interesting last night from the top to the bottom of the 40 drivers that locked into the qualifying points. It was a relatively low high, and it was kind of a decent low. There was 32 points that separated the top 40 drivers, and we could have another night like that, which is going to mean the qualifiers are going to be that much more exciting as well. So, again, points up for grabs. Logan Seavey, the main man. Beyond that, Giovanni Scelzi could make a statement tonight as he hopes to get into his preliminary A-main feature. Stunning to me, though, to think that KKM does not have a locked-in car just yet.
It's crazy, and somebody that's in the building, and forgive me for not knowing exactly which journalist it was, but I saw a tweet last night. Somebody that's in the building went over to Keith and asked Keith, hey, you guys have kind of struggled this week, and Keith said, hey, we've just missed it, and the reporters said that Keith honestly didn't have a ton of optimism that they were going to be able to turn things around. So we hope they can figure something out and end the week on a high note. Let's talk about Gio for a second. He's been out of a midget for 5 years. Typically, guys can't not race a midget for 5 years and then come to the Chili Bowl and run up front. But I think Gio might be talented enough of a race car driver that he can make the necessary adaptations quickly and contend.
I would absolutely agree with you wholeheartedly. After all, he's the youngest in virtually everything. Youngest Outlaw winner, youngest winner in Knoxville, youngest shootout winner. I mean, the accolades go on and on. Yeah, so he's 24 now, a veteran compared to where he started, but he's still young enough, still got enough juice in the tank, if you know what I mean. Giovanni Scelzi could certainly make some things happen tonight. And if you ask him point blank, does he think he can do it? He will give you the same unequivocal Gary Scelzi type answer. Hell yeah, every time.
Yeah, he is lacking no confidence, that's for sure. Let's combine everything that we've seen this week. Kyle Larson obviously comes out and is Kyle Larson dominant on Monday night. Blake Hahn, a feel-good story Tuesday night. Emerson Axum looks absolutely flawless for Swindell. And then Christopher Bell shows the world that not only does he know how to drive midgets, he knows how to build midgets and work on midgets too. You combine all the winners, all the lock-ins we've seen. We expect Logan Stevie to be great tonight. Is there a favorite for Saturday night?
Well, I think inside of this building, everybody thinks it's probably Christopher Bell. And, of course, they're going to have their pulse shuffle that will decide the starting spots. It'll probably come out of the first 2 or 3 rows like it typically does every year. And don't think for a moment, though, that Kyle Larson isn't a name. Kyle hasn't been here all week. Christopher's been in the pit here all week working on his race cars, getting everything ready to go. Kyle took his win on Monday, went home to North Carolina, and he's been sitting at home watching. But Kyle, of course, will come here with a head of steam as well. But it's almost impossible to pick who you think might win. You got to wait and see what the results of these poll shuffles are. That'll certainly give you a better idea come tomorrow night when you come. And by the way, good luck getting through everything you want to get through on one day at the Chili Bowl. There is so much going on here. I'd be remiss if I didn't say, as a fan of the TV show Landman, it's been very cool all weekend long to see Cooper Norris. That's the character, Tommy Norris's son, the main player in that show. That's Jacob Laughlin. He's been here all week. A kid that grew up in Arkansas as a mini sprint racer, would have loved to have gone into racing, will work in racing, bringing you TV shows and live kind of things. What do we call them? I'm having a brain fade here because he's got a show coming up as they try to find a truck driver for the colleague racing team on the NASCAR side. But it's been fun watching fans' reaction to him. It's been fun watching his reaction to all of these teams. Just walking into every pit, he's one of those identifiable faces that everybody knows. And so it's been kind of cool seeing him there this week. And you never know what you're going to see at the Chili Bowl.
That's right. Larson and Bell are tied with 3 apiece, and I know they both really want to stay ahead of the other and be the first to 4 and get 4 before the other one does. So, Dave, you went to the Chili Bowl for several years a while back. You took a bit of a break, and now you've come back 2 in a row. Give us your final thoughts this week on just what the Chili Bowl really means to dirt racing and how different this industry as a whole would look if it wasn't on the calendar every January.
I think Tony Stewart said it best in our pre-race press conference. Outside of maybe the people that know what goes on in this building, the races like the Indy 500, the Daytona 500 come to the top. And of course, those are fields of 30, 40 drivers at best. I mean, there are 400 here, and there's a points passing system. And because of that, inside of the dirt racing world, there is nothing bigger. I said it the first time I came, even having gone to the Knoxville Nationals and done some other things. You just can't beat the second weekend in January. You just can't beat this building, and you just can't beat what Emmett Hahn and Lanny Edwards started all those years ago. I mean, the Chili Bowl really does stand alone. And now, all of these years later, the best part about it is the fact that you come and you get the opportunity to run into people you haven't seen in a very long time. So it's like a family reunion, if you will. And above and beyond that, now you've got the logistics where everything's pretty much in the same place. 40 years ago, it wasn't in the same place, trust me. But now it is, and that makes life much, much better here. But the Chili Bowl, I'll tell you what, this thing's iconic now. Can't wait to see how much more iconic it's going to be another 40 years down the road.
A hat tip to Emmett Hunt and Lenny Edwards for what they created, and a hat tip to Matt and Ashley Ward and their staff for carrying it on. And last but not least, a hat tip to you, Dave. Great coverage all week. Enjoy this last night and a half.
Absolutely will, and like I said, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. You already know what you're walking into, but like I said, good luck getting everything accomplished that you want to do tomorrow, because I'll tell you what, this is going to be wall-to-wall people come tomorrow afternoon.
Hopefully American Airlines doesn't let me down. That is going to conclude Dirt Vision's pre-race coverage of the 40th Chili Bowl Nationals, powered by NOS Energy Drink. We thank you so much for allowing us into your days all week long to help build excitement around an event that is truly incredible for the sport of dirt racing. We'd like to extend a huge thank you to Dave Rieff and field producer Jackson Steele for their efforts from the SageNet Center, as well as studio personnel Hunter Pages, Tim Keller, Dan Schutte, Trinity Russell, and Kate Sharp for helping us get on air all week long. We also commend Flow Racing for their long hours of broadcasting this year's Chili Bowl. Flow will stream all of tonight's action and the final prelim and have every lap of tomorrow's finale, starting with Alphabet Soup. Double mains as far down as the letter Q are scheduled to commence around 10 a.m. Eastern Time Saturday morning. It's been a great Chili Bowl with tons of questions still to be answered. Tomorrow is one of the most special days in dirt racing, with the prestigious Golden Driller going to one immortal race car driver. We'll be watching just like all of you to find out who earns it. Enjoy the Chili Bowl, everyone.
This has been a presentation of Dirt Vision, a World Racing Group property. For information about upcoming broadcasts, follow us on social media, including Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. You can also watch more than 2,500 classic races and shows anytime at dirtvision.com or the Dirt Vision app.